All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just sitting around here chilling, trying to deal with whatever this thing is trespassing on me or whatever. But yeah, we're just sitting around waiting for stuff to pop off again in America. It's just a matter of time. I know a lot of stuff on there about Elon and his kid, and supposedly he is actually the one running the country, and just crazy stuff, right? Pretty crazy. But my whole day was filled up with babysitting my nephew. That was a ball of fun. Just sitting around chilling now, man. Watching a little bit of YouTube. I see the Delphi case now is starting to come back. Right? This Delphi case could be maybe a 20, 30 year 20 30 year case on YouTube. But as usual, life goes on. I'm just sitting and chilling. See if we can get a little music going here, maybe. I got I got a question. What is it with some of the stuff I see on YouTube about the tattooed ones? What is it? Is it all along it's been true what they've been saying? Is this the madness that we've been going through? I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I have no idea. It is too crazy for me to figure out. Nor do I care. But I think I'll change this because these people are killers. They'll kill you, hunt you down and kill you. All right, so we got some new news today. California wants out. California wants to become its own country, pretty much like Texas. Right? So let's take a look at that real quick. That's kind of crazy, right? They're like, well, we don't want none of this. We want our independence. We'll be our own. Well, they'll have to set up their own government, and they'll have to print off their own money.
And what could be the real-world implications of California becoming its own nation? Stay with us as we explore the full story behind California's potential path to independence and what it could mean for the U.S. and the world. The Calexit movement, a push for California's secession from the United States, has grown substantially over recent years. What started as a fringe idea has now gained significant political traction, as frustration with national policies and leadership intensifies. Advocates argue that California's needs, priorities, and political direction are increasingly at odds with those of the federal government. This discontent has been brewing for years, but recent political developments have only fueled the fire. In fact, advocates for Calexit have gathered enough signatures to push for a referendum that could appear on the 2028 election ballot. If successful, this initiative would ask California voters a historic question. Should California secede from the United States and become an independent nation? This question would mark a turning point in American history. But is the movement's success really possible? And what's behind the growing support for California's independence? The push for California's independence is not a new idea. The roots of the Calexit movement stretch back decades, but it gained significant mainstream attention during the 2016 presidential election, when the state overwhelmingly rejected the new national leadership that took office. This marked the beginning of a widening divide between California and the federal government. In the years that followed, the state's frustration grew as political rifts deepened over various issues. By 2024, the political climate had become so divisive that it felt almost impossible for California to continue aligning itself with national leadership. As the rift deepened, the push for a different path forward, separate from Washington, D.C., began to take shape. Supporters of Calexit argue that California's growing population, robust economy, and cultural identity justify its independence. They assert that California's leadership in key sectors like technology, agriculture, and entertainment makes it economically self-sufficient. Furthermore, they argue that the state's progressive values, particularly on issues such as immigration, climate change, and civil rights, often clash with the federal government's conservative stance, leaving California marginalized and underrepresented. While the seeds for Calexit were planted years
All right, so people are saying, "No, you can't do that." Yes, we can, and they would have to get their own government set up and do it fast. And they'd have to build their own planes and jets or buy them. They can start their own military. And that's the same thing with Texas. Texas is already on their way. Texas is telling California people and the whole world they don't want Hollywood or anybody. They're their own country. They don't abide by the rules or whatever. I don't know. So yeah, maybe that's why Trump's pushing to take either purchase or take other land, right? So is all this possible? Yes, we already have another country in America. I believe out there on the west that is linked to another country, and it is actually the country of something else. So this is all possible. Uh, yeah, if they vote on it, they could. The state of California, if the people vote on it, uh, they can go in front of Congress and Senate and say we no longer are a part of the Union, the America, and start their own thing, the nation of California, and then they can pretty much, I don't know, whatever they decide to do with it. But Texas has been doing this for a while. I mean, it's nothing new. And like I said, there's already another country within the United States. Look it up on YouTube.
years ago, the 2016 presidential election was a key turning point. In that election, a vast majority of Californians rejected the national leadership that emerged, further cementing the feeling of alienation that many in the state felt. This sentiment grew even stronger in 2024, when an increasingly polarized political climate intensified tensions between California and the federal government. From contentious debates over immigration reform to policies on climate change and civil rights, California found itself at odds with national mandates time and time again. These disagreements created a situation where it felt almost inevitable that California would need to seek a path of greater autonomy. One of the most significant sources of conflict between California and the federal government has been the issue of immigration. As one of the most immigrant-friendly states in the nation, California has long resisted federal policy. Immigration controls and limit protections for undocumented individuals. The state is home to millions of immigrants, and cities like Los Angeles, San Francisco, and San Diego have served as sanctuaries for those seeking refuge. The state has refused to comply with federal mandates aimed at cracking down on immigration, even facing threats of funding cuts and legal actions from the federal government. For many Californians, these measures are seen as harmful and unjust, further fueling resentment toward national leadership. The Sanctuary City movement, which opposes federal immigration enforcement, has become a powerful symbol of California's defiance. Supporters of Calexit argue that the state's sovereignty over such matters is fundamental to its identity, and that its values do not align with the federal government's stance. Another major point of contention between California and the federal government is climate policy.
Hey,
While the
Debbie.
federal government has rolled back environmental regulations and placed a greater emphasis on traditional energy sources, California has taken the opposite approach. The state has been a leader in clean energy, setting ambitious targets for reducing carbon emissions and investing in renewable resources. California's commitment to green energy has put it at odds with national policies that promote fossil fuel production. For example, under the leadership of Governor Jerry Brown and Governor Gavin Newsom, the state passed sweeping climate change laws that positioned it as a global leader in environmental reform. The devastating wildfires that have plagued the state in recent years have only underscored the urgency of climate action, creating a sharp contrast between California's policies and the federal government's lack of emphasis on climate issues. This growing divide between state and federal priorities has led many to believe that California's future lies in greater independence from Washington. One of the most frequently asked questions surrounding Calexit is whether California could survive as an independent nation. The state has long prided itself on its strong economy and its ability to innovate across various industries. But could it function without the support of the federal government? The answer, according to many supporters, is yes. With a GDP of nearly $4 trillion, California boasts one of the largest economies in the world. Were it a separate nation, it would rank among the top 5 largest economies globally. Much of California's economic strength is driven by Silicon Valley, home to tech giants like Apple, Google, and Tesla, as well as the state's major contributions to agriculture and entertainment. But critics of Calexit argue that secession would come with significant challenges. While California's economy is indeed large, it still relies on federal funding for infrastructure, social programs, and emergency relief. Secession would require the state to create its own defense system, establish new trade agreements, and negotiate diplomatic relations, all of which would come with a substantial cost. Even if California were to vote in favor of independence, the legal road to secession would be far from smooth. The U.S. Constitution does not provide a clear path for states to leave the Union. This is a stark contrast to other countries, where regions can hold referendums and negotiate independence. Any attempt at secession would likely face legal challenges from Congress, the Supreme Court, and other parts of the federal government. Some analysts argue that national leadership would take aggressive measures to prevent California from leaving, considering the state's economic and strategic importance to the country. Internally, there are also divisions within California itself. While major urban areas along the coast tend to support progressive policies, more conservative voices from rural regions in Northern California may resist secession. This internal divide could further complicate the state's quest for a unified.
I think these fires and all this stuff that's been going on in Texas, the fires out in California, I think that was the tipping edge for these people they want to break away. And I do believe they can do that. And there's probably people in the wings waiting to help start their nation within America. But like I said, you would need your own defense system. You would need your own military. And I imagine there's countries already in the works of doing that. Meaning once they break away from America, they will already have people coming in, right? Meaning weaponry and military and all that. So yeah, we're just waiting for it all to pop off here. Very, very bad situation. I would say, we're all looking for the Armageddon Day or whatever they call it, and it's supposed to be over in a certain part of the world. But I'm thinking maybe God has changed his mind because it's getting that bad in America. We need God, and we've always had trouble with Texas. Texas, I don't care what anyone says. Texas has always wanted to break away from it. They don't even consider themselves, they tell the federal government and the White House and everything, don't mess with Texas. And, it's already its own country. Pretty much. I mean, I've been to Texas. I spent like three months or something like that in Texas when I was younger. And it's a whole different world out there, right? So, yeah, I mean, yeah, very possible. But like I said, there was a lot to go into that, right? They would have to set up their own Senate, or however they do it. their own government, and then they would have to start printing off money, their own money. Uh, and the same thing with California. So, yeah, it's all coming to an end, folks, pretty much. If this happens, I imagine there'll be some countries that come in and purchase California. They'll sell it. The money that these people will give, uh, they'll end up selling it, and then they'll move in their whatever country buys it, uh, and they'll move in their military and everything, and it'll be perfectly legal. Sure, you'll be having jets. I don't know, whoever buys Texas or California, uh, flying around and yeah, yeah, perfectly. And I imagine more country or more states will do that once this jumps on board. I mean, it's pretty sad, but it is the dismemberment of a country, and they're doing it at least the right way. They're voting for it. If the people vote and say we don't want no more America, we want to be on our own, and they say yeah, and they voted, and everybody, yeah, they can do that. Now, will they be attacked? Just like this video said, probably the government. Probably. What do you mean you're leaving? The heck you mean? Well, they already stopped funding California a long time ago, and pretty much Texas, and there's going to be some other states where they're not going to get no help no more. Whether their state is very bad, uh, I know one thing. We heard Bobby Kennedy saying he is not going to support any radical racism or Nazis or whatever he was saying. And I imagine that's Trump and all the rest of them too. So I imagine there's going to be a lot more states that are not going to get help from any federal government or anything like that, or any other states that break away from America. So I'm not saying it can't be done. It can be, but it would have to be swift. I don't even know if they would print their own money off or have another country purchase it for them. I mean, there's numerous ways. But this is something that can happen. People are saying this can't happen, and they already are their own country. They already tell the federal government, F you, and we don't have to do anything you say. So they already broadcasted it all over the world now. Don't mess with Texas like they're their own country. So is this possible? I don't know. If the government stops funding them, that means they ain't getting nothing. Our military pulls out and their borders are open. It would be up to Texas to get their military that they create or that they buy, whoever has the most money, and they would have to patrol their borders. But yeah, and this is talk amongst all of the states. Uh, if they vote and say, "Hey, we want to get away from America, and we can sell California and put $1 million in everybody's pocket." Right? Every registered Californian would get a check for $1 million. Uh, I'd be up. Sure. And wait, let me pack up and move out to California first, or Texas, right? If they did something like that, they're gone. People would say, "Give us our money. We're out of here. We don't want none of this crap." So it's very possible talks. Can it be stopped? No, you can't stop it. Will they go to war? They probably will go to war. If this has already been planned, they already have countries ready to come in. Now I know Trump's claiming they own now a bunch of offshore land in the water. So I don't know. What are they trying? Are they trying to block it so then no ships would be able to come in from another country if Texas bails and California bails? and they're trying to set up a barrier where, hey, you ain't coming in this way, right? This is all American land or ocean front or whatever. It's getting ugly. We knew this was going to happen. And like I said, we're just waiting for it to pop off again. And it's just a matter of time, man. Right? Let's watch a little bit more of this and see what else is going on. And they would need their own defense systems. They'd have to start purchasing some CRAM devices and start setting up their missile dome system and stuff.
Movement. If California were to successfully secede, its independence would have ripple effects across the globe. As one of the world's largest economies, California plays a crucial role in global trade, technology, and finance. An independent California could establish new international partnerships, potentially reshaping the global economic landscape. The success of Calexit could also set a precedent for other states to pursue independence. States like Texas, which has previously expressed interest in secession, could view California's example as a roadmap for their own future. On the global stage, California's independence would affect diplomatic relations, defense alliances, and economic agreements. Countries with strong economic ties to California, such as China, Japan, and the European Union, would likely seek to establish direct agreements with the newly independent nation. Whether or not California ultimately succeeds in achieving independence, the growing support for Calexit reflects deep dissatisfaction with the current political system. This movement is more than just a reaction to national leadership. It is a statement about the future direction of the United States. California has long been a leader in innovation, economy, and social progress. As the state continues to push for greater autonomy, the implications for both the nation and the world cannot be ignored. Whether or not Calexit succeeds, it has already sparked a conversation that will shape the future of American politics for years to come. What do you think? Should California become its own nation? Let us know in the comments below. If you want to stay updated on this historic moment, don't
What do I think? I think it's completely mad. It's going to get a lot more mad. It's going to get cray cray. And we're trying to warn everybody. Now's the time to be building bunker. And I want to change the whole building code in America, right? I mean, I see you out there, you other countries. I see what you're doing. You're building for weather. Some of your houses are actually space vessels in these other countries. Not gonna lie to you folks, America's way behind, baby. Now I'm starting to sound like that John Brutzkoff dude in Texas, a little blue dot in Texas, right? Baby, I'm gonna tell you, baby. But yeah, we're way behind. We should have bomb shelters and weather shelters mandatory built in the homes. It's a mandatory. You can't build without. It's a code. Uh, Hundreds of things we could be doing a lot better with building. Uh, and if you build a house that can stand on solid ground, your insurance company is going to love you. And that why? Because it saves insurance millions. These people are so idiots. They haven't even figured out this system. I'm dumb. Can barely write my name and read without having glasses on. And these idiots haven't figured it out yet. And these other countries within their little towns and their cities have fire defense system, water cannons that pump in seawater and just puts it just covers the whole town. It was phenomenal. Way behind. Way behind. Bomb shelters and storm shelters built right into the homes. Why? Because their country cares about them. Right? Some of them houses, I think if it gets crazy, will detach and float in the atmosphere. It's got its own space setup, right? It detaches from its base and it be thrown off into space from the Earth if stuff got bad. Yeah, we're looking way ahead of these people. They want to get off of the Earth, and I'm like, you're wasting your time. If you ain't going to somewhere that has ice on it, you're wasting your time. If it don't have an atmosphere that we can create, you're wasting your time until we find that and find a way to get to that planet. And it's out there. Yes, it's just like a Earth, full of water and all kinds of stuff. Do your history. But we ain't never getting there. Not at the way we're going. So instead of worrying about getting somewhere else, you best start worrying about the rock that you live on, what you need to cool it, what you need to heat it up, what you need to make an atmosphere right on this rock. But you boys just ain't figured it out yet. Well, we have. And I'm really sorry. Really am. I ain't got time to be floating off in space until NASA comes to me and says, Johnny, we found her. I believe we can get to her. This is what we need. Then we're out of here. Till then, this rock is the only thing you got. And you people are destroying it. So now we got to build because our weather is changing no matter what anyone said. I've been watching people up in Alaska yelling and screaming, saying, what the heck is going on? We should be at 40 below zero, 20 feet of snow. And they were in January and the snow was melting. Yeah, there's a lot of changes. A lot of changes we need to make. We'd save a lot of money insurance wise. Your insurance would be cheaper because it's a destructible house. Indestructible. Uh, can it be done? Yes, we can do this. Do we need anyone's okay? No, we don't. Okay. We are the ones that okay everything. We are the people. Right? Didn't you folks listen to AC/DC? We are the people. We give you everything you need. I think he said something about a drug dealer, but I don't deal drugs, so. Next best thing, man. Indestructible houses that can sustain weather and an asteroid blast, which that's coming too. It's just horrible what we're going through. There was so much more we could have spent money on other than government, military, and stupid stuff. Just stupid stuff. All stolen. Now they're saying Congress and Senate stole $20 trillion or something like that. Our own country ripping us off. What do I predict? I think they're going to get rid of all these politicians and steal everything. They finally, what the Lord did was open up that they're killers. They've been stealing from you folks for centuries. And they're probably going to all get off. And new power coming. I mean, that's what they're predicting. That's probably what's going to happen. It's just gone crazy. It's just, here we are obeying the laws. God's laws. We never even killed anybody. But now, see, we got smart. Because we know just voting for this madness, we might as well pull the trigger ourselves. And that's why a lot of people will not be voting again. They finally figured it out. We're not getting nothing. The poor, the weak, right? You ain't getting none. Well, I know you were somebody 20 years ago, 30 years ago, and working, and you probably built many homes, built many roads and size, skyscrapers, and standing on your feet, flipping hamburger, all that stuff. But it don't matter, right? Nah, well, who knows? Who cares, really? Nobody really cares anymore. Right? And when you got a whole country that just don't care, that's how stuff gets overlooked. Oops, I didn't see that 707 coming out of the sky. That collided with a train or whatever, And that's how these things happen, right? Right? Busy day at work at the train station. Hey, we're striking. We got 5 trains out there rolling. Who cares? We're striking. Right? They're gonna end up demolishing everything and running in it. Who cares? We're on strike. Nah, well, it's all madness, anyways. But you folks have a great night. I want to thank Debbie Fox for stopping in. One of the great masterminds of all the masterminds of masterminds. If there was a mastermind. But what a great lady. What a great lady. Other than that, I don't know. Maybe what time is it? 9 o'clock. I think it's tea time, Debbie. What do you think? What else kind of madness is on YouTube? That wild and crazy queen bee's on. Bzz, 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 bzz. That crazy queen bee. Can I get a shout out for the queen of all the bees? The double O queen bee. I know I'm such an idiot. I'm so stupid. Uh-oh. Mike Tyson faces major consequences after party. Oh man, what happened, Mike? I knew it was a matter of time before they got to him. Only 3 weeks to sue Elon Musk for 10 million. Trump sues Elon for 10 million. He owed me 10. Actually, he owed me 20. Let's listen to this.
Waiting for the other shoe to drop, but it doesn't. So it's kind of amazing. In the last few videos, I've been reporting that, of course, the administration has been sued over and over again already, trying to stop the efficiencies. Well, look at this tax waste, fraud, and abuse. And they're trying to stop that. No. We oppose stopping waste, fraud, and abuse. Well, let's see. Last Saturday, a judge stopped the administration from allowing, let me explain this, people to quit their jobs, their federal employee jobs. So what the administration did was offer them like 6-9 months something pay if they would quit in September. Something like 75,000 people accepted this offer. Well, the judge said, no, you can't do that. No, can't do that. Well, it was appealed or went to a different judge. I don't think it was appealed. I think it went to a different judge.
Finding the right funding to help you grow your business can feel like a challenge. American Express.
I don't understand all that. So it went to a different judge, and they held it over until, I think, last night. And that judge said, this is insane. Wait a minute. You're telling me that a person can't quit his job if he wants to quit? Of course you can. So Judge Trump won one of the lawsuits. And so I guess these people are going to quit their jobs, 75,000 people. So I thought that was good news. I just keep waiting for that other shoe to drop, and it just hasn't yet. The other one is Trump wanted to freeze money to just figure out where the money was going to. And of course, they said you can't do that because Congress has already allocated all that money. Well, in the previous video, I told you that previous presidents have froze programs before, even though Congress had allocated the money. And one example was the border wall. Congress approved the border wall money when Trump was in office. Well, when Biden got in office, he froze that money. He didn't build on to the border wall anymore during his entire term. And he made excuses like need to do EPA studies and wildlife studies, and so they just never spent any. As a matter of fact, the materials that they had on hand for the border wall, the steel, they started selling right at the end of the term. So not only were they not spending it, they were collecting money on it. So there was some precedence to this that you can freeze money. Well, since the president is responsible for allocating money that Congress has authorized, it is, according to a judge last night, the president's responsibility to make sure the money is going to the correct places. So the judge said, yeah, you can freeze that money. You don't have to spend it. And then, of course, as soon as all that happens, then New York City is mad. So it was originally reported that $59,000 went to a hotel, or I said $59 million, went to a hotel while Trump was president to help house border crossers. It all got confusing. So let's see, the Homeland Secretary, Kristi Noem, they clawed back that money. So I guess they just canceled the check or whatever it was. So now they got the money back. Well, it turned out it was $80 million. And New York is claiming that it was part of a grant. It didn't go to the hotel. It was part of a grant. So they got $80 million. Now, in this talk, while they're talking, they said, but 19 million of it was designated to go to hotel housing the illegal immigrants and feeding them and all that stuff. And they said that was approved by Congress. Well, I'm confused by that. So I'm sure there's going to be a lawsuit, because how do you house illegal immigrants when it is a federal crime to house illegal immigrants? So does that mean Congress wrote a law that violated the law? So I doubt it. I don't know. I'm sure that's going to be a big lawsuit. We'll
Someone
see.
tell me why this guy's
So,
doing the video.
I don't know.
and
I
he's
just
got
thought I'd
his
keep
panties
rolling
and
on here.
undies hanging.
I'm going to interrupt this video real quick, and I'm going to ask you to get to the end of this video. Click the up next box. It'll take you over to my other channel, and we're going to be working on a push more. And I'm sure that everybody is going to be running into this problem with their lawn equipment at some point. So I'm sure I can help you fix it pretty easily. Also, there'll be a link in the description and in the pinned comment. One of the things you have to understand about government, it doesn't run like a business. If a business sees that they have too many employees doing a job, you got 2 employees doing a job that you can do one. Now, as I've told you in the past, I was a process improvement manager, quality improvement manager. So in order to improve quality, you had to improve processes. So you got an assembly line, and parts are rolling down it. And what you try to do is make sure that
it's not a business.
Every part that
run like
passes this individual,
you can't fire people
is timed correctly, so that individual can do his job. So let's say this guy's just screwing a nut on. That's all he does all day, just screwing that nut on. Well, you want to make sure that he's not sitting around waiting for the next piece to come down line, because that's just wasted time. And if you can't speed the line up, so he's just
And now
constantly screwing that nut on, you try to incorporate the last assembly
job.
with this assembly and get rid of this guy.
Well, that work. And
So
now-
you're trying to reduce cost and increase production. I know that's greedy capitalism, but that's just how it works. Well, in government, it doesn't work that way. So an organization in the government will say, I need a budget of, let's just call it $1 million. And so the Congress gives them that $1 million and they go and hire employees and they realize, you know, I need another employee. So next year they'll say, I need $2 million. I'm just throwing out numbers. Well, now they got too much money. And so next year, when they want to ask for more money or even the same amount of money, Congress is going to say, no, you don't need it. You already got some. And well, they don't want to do that. So what they do is they go out and hire another employee. And it literally becomes red tape. This is where the red tape comes in at. So you'll have an employee that takes a piece of paper and says, yep, that's the piece of paper. Great, thank you. And they'll hand it to the next person. The next person say, yep, signature's on it. Hand it to the next person. Next person say, yep, so security's on it. Hand it to the next person. Next person say, yep, address is on it. And it just keeps going down the line. Instead of that one person saying, yep, address, social security number, name, signature, it's all there. So you got 5 people doing the job of one person. And you just keep adding and adding. And eventually, you got people just sitting around not doing anything all day long. So Elon Musk is going around asking employees about job satisfaction. Is kind of what I'm gathering what it is. How satisfied are you with your job? And, you know, they'll talk about it. And a lot of them are just saying, oh, I'm bored to death. And there's nothing to do all day. I just come in, sit, talk. That's it. And then they'll say, well, what would you do if you were the boss here? Streamline things. You need
Choosing a big box of award-winning Franzia wine for less? Smart move. Hiding an engagement ring in your girlfriend's lasagna?
Hold on.
Not as smart.
to streamline things so things go. That's not just me waiting around for a piece of paper so I can say, yep, the address is on it.
I don't think this part's true, though.
So
I posted.
he's taking a look at these people, and the ones that are being honest and excited about their job,
tell you that
and they would like to take on more work. He's saying, well, you know what? We could keep you around. You look like a real positive, happy person. But the other one, like, I don't care. I just check the name every day. Oh, it just don't matter to me. Well, what would you do if you were the boss for a day? I don't know. I'd probably hire another person because I'm tired of looking at name. Maybe I should only look at the first name. He'll say, oh, okay, well, maybe you're not the right person for this job. See, this is what he used to do with his businesses. When he took over X, he incorporated, streamlined them. Like, I don't know, like 30,000 employees down to like 5. I'm exaggerating quite a bit, I'm sure. But that's how he did it. He just went around saying, you know, who's the most excited? Who's willing to work midnight? Who's willing to work 24 hours a day? Great. You got a job. Oh, there is a bit of bad news. So Elon is working for free. So he's doing this Doge for free. He's not getting paid anything. And then the 2 people he's employed to help him with this Doge program, it's my understanding he's paying them out of his own pocket. He's not requiring the government to pay for it. Well, don't get me wrong. I really appreciate that. I don't need another employee. So, unfortunately, Trump has sued Elon. Oh, they just like, oh, no. When I heard this news, I was just devastated. Like, oh, well, there's a good thing gone. So, what it was is before Elon bought Twitter, Trump sued Twitter because Twitter kicked him off the platform. Well, the suit has now been finalized, and Trump won this lawsuit. So now that Elon owns Twitter, formerly known as Twitter, he owes Trump $10 million on that lawsuit. Oh, that's just depressing. I'm telling you, that's. But they both agreed that they're going to put it into the presidential library, so it's for a good cause. That's
so Trump sued.
So I was thinking about
Elon
something
for $10 million.
So let's say
What
your bank account was audited by an independent auditor, and they go in and they're auditing all these bank accounts, and they're noticing a trend. They're noticing that
is
there's like
follow this guy?
money out of your bank account missing. I'm like, huh? Mr. Jones here, he's supposed to have $100 extra in here. Where'd that go? And the bank's like, well, there's fees and this and that, and so then they audit the bank, and the bank's like, they got all this extra money laying around. Well, where did this money come from? Well, it's a overhead cost, and so you're like 6,000% overhead costs. Most companies try to run around, like 150, 200. So you got all this overhead costs. And so the auditor says, no. That's Mr. Jones's money. That was his $100. And so they call you up and they say, hey, Mr. Jones, we noticed your bank has been overcharging you. I'm an auditor and I audited your bank account and the bank owes you $100. And you're like, what are you talking about? Why are you auditing my bank account? No. That bank deserves that $100. You make sure that bank keeps that $100. That's exactly what the opposition is saying about Musk being an auditor to your tax dollars. There are people lining the streets and on Facebook and Twitter or wherever and mad because Elon is auditing the government with your tax dollars. They're saying, hey, you know what? The government's taking your money. And I've had example after example in previous videos. And the press secretary, every day she comes out with receipts of waste, fraud, and abuse. And some reporter will say, well, can you prove that there's anything actually being wasted in the federal government? Okay, $36 trillion, and you're telling me that one dime was wasted? Well, what about that mine that houses retirement records of federal employees, but only 10,000 federal employees can resign every month because that's all the elevator will hold? No, it's ridiculous. I think people come on this channel and tell me, I'm wrong. Elon's a crook. He's stealing your money. Well, okay, if he's stealing my money, at least I know who to sue. But when the federal government's suing my money, I'm not even allowed to sue. See my point? If Elon's stealing my money, I know who to arrest and throw in jail. But with the federal government, I have no idea who I can arrest and throw in jail. So, fine.
He's
He's
right
stealing
about
my
that.
money. I hope he finds every
Try getting
dime
your
that the
money
government
from
has
the federal
stolen, takes it
government.
back, puts it in his pocket so I can throw him in jail and he can pay me back.
You can't
You see?
fire him.
I mean, the ridiculous idea
do it.
of we don't want an auditor because the auditor might be stealing your money. You have no evidence of
What about
this. It's
Elon?
just what you hope that will happen, I guess. I don't
They
know.
know Elon.
So I'm pretty excited about this. I'm going to keep up this
and they're going to
type of format for a while until I see things getting
It's Elon.
going downhill with it. So if you'll click this up next box, it'll take you to a video where I was working on a
Yeah,
push
him
more
by
on
the
my
ball.
other channel. It's a brand new channel. So if
Sure.
I can inspire
I'm
you
on my 250
to get on it
trillion.
so you can live your
You
dreams.
promised
Thanks
me
for
you
watching.
were going to get it for me.
Your cat deserves sunny windows. Your dog deserves room to zoom. You deserve an amazing apartment. At Edward Rose and Sons, we're the perfect match.
Let me see what Debbie Fox said. This dude even pay taxes? Yeah, I used to pay taxes all the time, Debbie. Are you talking about me? Don't be upset, baby. It's all right. It's okay. No, I know now exactly what's going on. See, if the government, if Mr. Trump would have came out and said, we caught the government, they stole all your money, there's nothing you could do. Right? They're auditing the government and they found out, well, Mr. Kramer, they've been holding a lot of money from you. They've been stealing from you. There's nothing you could do. You can't sue the federal government. Right? Ever since they passed that law, because they knew a lawsuit was coming because they failed to do their job as a government and protect the United States of America. Right? Their own experiments that they were doing in their labs in America was the cause of the madness. So you can't sue them, right? But now that they're getting audited and they put it all into Elon's hands, right? Elon ain't government. He's just someone they hired. So if it all goes to shit, well, there goes Elon. I know it's horrible to laugh, but that's what we got. Little Debbie Fox is laughing her little booty off again. Let me see what she's saying. I don't know what you just did, but it didn't sound good. I don't know what I did either. I'm eating a roast beef sandwich, watching the world implode on itself there. Oh. Oh my God. Just another night in paradise. Sweet little Debbie Debs. No, I got people trespassing on me again here. They keep bringing it over here. They keep. I'm like, I got to get rid of it again. I don't want it. I am breaking away from my family. Yes, today was the dropping straw. I don't want to send that all back to them. I don't know what kind of demonic demons I have in my family now. We all got to really get rid of these demonic demons in our families. I know. We wish we can all hit each other over the head with a French bidet or whatever they call them, biscuit rolls. But we live and let live and live. And, yeah, that's about it. There's not too much we can do about it. That was about as hot as a dog in the heat. There's a new Wolfman movie that's came out. I want to check that out, right? New Wolf. The Wolfman. Hey, Debbie. You got a sponge. You got a sponge. I don't know. She must have left. So I really caught all these people on YouTube. I'm suing massive amounts of people. We're coming in. We're rolling in hot. Steamrolling everybody. Well, I'm suing everybody, even the man on the moon. I think I'm going to make me a hot cup of tea. I might be back with a fire. Just some peaceful music to relax. Oh, yeah. Give me some bacon to roll your little toes up in bacon, girl. Like little pigs in a blanket. Yeah. I'm gonna give you, girl, my pony baloney. Wrap it up in a piece of bacon. Deep fried, yeah. girl. I have to go. I am an idiot. You folks have a good night. God bless. I'll be back with maybe a fire, some tea. Maybe here in a couple hours, hour or so.